Hola guys and girls, and welcome to my team builder for GBA week 6. We are up versus the Columbus Chu, coached by none other than the mysterious Coach Z. We of course have no history at all battling versus each other. He's a new addition to the team, but so far not very successful. So we of course are here to continue that trend and hopefully get a win versus him, and yeah, get us back on track in the division, because if you know, last week, of course, we sadly lost in our divisional matchup versus Joey, so we are in need for some wins, and Coach Z is looking like a nice juicy target for that. But yeah, that's basically the whole history of the match, not too much between us. We might start one right here, we will find out. But yeah, his team consists of the excadrill, Manectric, Hippowdon, Pokémon Chu, Scizor, Mienshao, Celebi, Weezing, Mega Gardevoir, Fearow, and Blaziken. His team of users are the Manaphy and the Fearow, and he made some transactions prior to this week. He got the Hippowdon now, so he has a Sandcorn, Excadrill, and Hippowdon in general. Other thing, he now is Mega Gardevoir versus Mega Ampharos, and his team got a lot scarier versus me, and I'm not a fan of him making this trend, so I would have preferred him doing the week after. It's not like the case where I was happy that Joel traded with Raptor. Here, I would have way preferred going up against Clefable and Mega Ampharos instead of the Hippowdon and Mega Gardevoir. So, biggest threats on his side of the team, of course, I can't not mention the Excadrill. My team is known for being kinda Edgequake weak, and of course Excadrill, the sand outspeeds everything, can potentially run Element, Life Orb, Earthquake, Rock Slides. Thankfully, he doesn't get stoned at Chessery and Rock Slide, but either way, Excadrill, a huge threat. Other thing, of course, the Z Manaphy. That's a very big problem. And then, of course, the newly acquired Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir I can revenge kill easier. Same with Manaphy, barring it's like a Z Rain Dance set. Then I'm a bit more of a problem. But the Excadrill is, I think, the biggest threat, because in the sand, I have no good ways of really revenge killing Excadrill without taking a hit myself. So I have to keep my checks healthy. Outside of sand, my whole team basically outspeeded, so that's not a threat. But outside of sand, Mega Gardevoir and Manaphy are the two threats. Inside of sand is the Excadrill, so that's basically how I rank it. Defensive-wise, you got stuff like the Hippowdon, which is very annoying. The Pokémon 2, which is very annoying to take down if you basically have to spam knockoff and hope to catch him at one point with the Wildlight. Because otherwise, you're not killing this Dark, Toxic, and knockoff. That's the combination you have to deal with it. And yeah, Celebi can be annoying. I'm not really thinking it would be coming, because the bad thing about Celebi is it is one of the fairies, or not the fairies, the pixies. Overall, base 100 stats, great coverage, blood recovery, Delphox, so much options, but this typing is just so bad. I think it's ties with Abomasnow on worst typing, with having the most weaknesses in the game. And the Fortress weakness to Bug, of course, very annoying, because U-turn is a move which a lot of monsters run. But yeah, Weezing can potentially get annoying versus my team. Like you can see, I did not bring the Gengar, so if he actually decides to bring Toxic Spikes, that might be that might be problematic. And yeah, then Sneasel and Mienshao are like other threats I have to look out for. Fearow, Blaziken, and yeah, these are the monsters I did mention at all, because I'm not scared at all about these two. But Mienshao, Scarf Mienshao could potentially sweep from my team, so I have to get my checks so they're healthy, or get rid of the Scarf. And yeah, so these are like the threat list I want to see on his team. But now going into my team. So let's start off with Goodboy, the Mega Manectric, Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Toxic, Magnetize, enough speed to outspeed the max speed Sneasel, and then I am allowed to run a Modest Nature, so I have that investment. So he got the Hippowdon, which of course is a great check to Mega Manectric. Hippowdon is one of the few ground types which has one reliable recovery and bulky enough to take even special hits. And so Hippowdon is one of the best electric checks in the game, basically. So I have to be a bit creative with Mega Manectric, and that's what I did with Magnetize Toxic. Because of course I do outspeed it. I can Magnetize on it, Toxic on it. Toxic I will probably on the switch already to it, because it's very predictable to go into that. And I can Magnetize, hit him with Flamethrowers, and basically wear him down that way. And end up beating him 1v1. If I Magnetize versus the Hippowdon and he decides to... He can't even switch into Excadrill, because then he only has to rely on Iron Head and Rock Slide, which won't kill me, and Flamethrower will OHKO Excadrill if he doesn't have Occa Berry or it's like Assault that's so very bulky. So yeah, and then I Volt Switch for momentum. Volt Switch Flamethrower is like the only coverage I really need versus team. Hidden Power Ice not that important. The only real thing I would hit with Hidden Power Ice for more damage is the Hippowdon, which I already beat 1v1 with my Toxic, and the Fearow. Oh wait, Fearow Volt Switch, so nothing really, that's it. So yeah, Hidden Power Ice not really needed. Volt Switch because I still want to have my momentum over Thunderbolt. I still want to be able to Volt Switch around this team once I can, because that baits in basically Hippowdon, and then I can Magnetize Toxic and all this good stuff. And yeah, even if he wants to switch into Excadrill, he can't revenge kill me because I'm Magnetize. Or he stays in enough turns, but then he Toxic damage racks up and I can get rid of the Hippowdon. So that's awesome. That's Mega Manectric for you. Next up we got Mr. Cypher, once again physically defensive Lurantis with Leaf Blade, Superpower, Knockoff Stiffness. This time fully physically offensive. This is my check to the excadrill. And yeah, basically Leaf Blade, my stab, Superpower there to kill the excadrill or get a lot of damage, and excadrill gets some boost and be a better check to that, and then Knockoff will hit stuff like the Celebi, which of course walled by Leaf Blade and Superpower. I can get rid of course the overall utility of Knockoff is nice. Get rid of the Violite on Porygon 2. And yeah, then Synthesis for library recovery, enough speed to outspeed and no speed Powdon. So I can Leaf Blade that for a lot of damage, because I'm expecting him to bring more Spidef variant of Powdon, because if it's physically defensive, it's not a check to quote-unquote standard Mega Manectric, which could run Hidden Power Ice. And like you can see, if he knows the speed here, he knows I can run Modest, and Modest HP Ice does a lot to like a fully physically defensive Powdon. So he's definitely probably at least a mix of Powdon. So Leaf Blade can still do a lot of damage, but yeah. At first I had a minus speed nature with Leaf Storm, because Leaf Storm of course does more damage, it's more base power, Powdon is more physically bulky, Barring is like 40 Spidef variant, but then I couldn't have enough, or I could have enough speed to outspeed Hippowdon, but then I'm missing the bulk to take on excadrill. So in the end I just think going fully physical is overall better, because that allows me to be more bulky, because I don't need that much speed. I definitely want to outspeed the Hippowdon, get a huge hit on that off before it goes for Rock, Slack Off, Toxic, Whirlwind, whatever it decides to go for. So next up, we got Jeff, which is my check to the Manaphy of Fusion Bolt, Shadow Claw, Ice Beam, and Roost. Minus Spidef nature, not minus Spidef, because I want to take hits from Manaphy and don't want to be minus defense to take hits from our stuff as well. And yeah, enough speed to outspeed a max speed excadrill outside of sand. And this thing, even with this little Spidef investment, is a very nice check to the Manaphy. Nothing this thing can do can to it KO. Best thing, of course, is Dazzling Gleam. And a +3 Dazzling Gleam won't OHKO me, but in case I still have the Roselli Berry, which weakens that if he goes to Tail Glow, Dazzling Gleam. Ice Beam, Scald, Energy Ball, all this good stuff, not doing too much to me. And yeah, that's basically Chrome Black for you. And Roselli Berry is nice as well to deal with the Mega Gardevoir. In case he wants to go for Hyper Voice with me, that of course weaken, I can OHKO him with a Shadow Claw. So yeah, that is Chrome Black for you. I have Shadow Claw over Iron Head, because with Iron Head he goes into Excadrill, he could switch into the Blaze Game potentially, he could switch into a lot of stuff, which Shadow Claw he really can, because I get a lot of damage on him. But yeah, because if it, let's say Sand is up, I am in versus something, he switches into Excadrill, protecting Iron Head, and yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So I had Shadow Claw, because it still does, it doesn't have the guaranteed chance to OHKO, but after Rock switch in, it's a guaranteed OHKO, so I'd rather have Shadow Claw over Iron Head. And then Fusion Bolt, of course, to hit my strongest attack to the Manaphy super effectively, and then I have Ice Beam there for stuff like the Powder, because even though I'm minus Protect Nature, it has a, always has a 2-hit KO chance, but depending on how special bulky it is, it's either a guaranteed 2-hit KO or just a 20% chance, and it's in that range basically, depending on how much special bulky he has, even though I'm minus attack. I want to have a more bulky clear this week, so I don't want to go with minus defense or special Spidef nature, and then of course I have Roost for Blood Recovery versus the Manaphy, and yeah, that's Chrome Black for you. Next up we got Walnut, our Tapu Fini with Moonblast, Scald, Knockoff, and Defog. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Blaziken, and yeah, let me talk about Stat. Moonblast of course a main stab move. Then I have Scald over Surf, because once again, I am aware Mr. Surge, blah blah blah, no burn chance, you know the deal. But he has this one Fairy Switch in is the Wheezing, and that's of course Levitating, and if you can get a burn on that, that would be great. And of course, outside of terrain, Scald is better than Surf. So yeah, and then I got Knockoff, because I'm basically walled by Porygon 2. And I don't want to take hits on Porygon 2 and like stay in and taunt and all this good stuff, so I'd rather knock it off on the switch, get rid of his Violite. Another thing, this is my check to the Mian-Show, and if I can knock off this Choice Scarf, that would be awesome, because then I don't have to keep my Tapu Fini that healthy, then other things on my team outspeed it and I can KO it, so that would be awesome as well. And then Defog goes for Defog Curvers, because we don't want the hazard stack with like Toxic Spikes and stuff like that. Fini is a great switch, because Mr. Trade, of course, it doesn't get poisoned itself, so I can switch in, Defog, I get rid of Toxic Spikes and all this good stuff. Rocks are not too big of a problem. I have 2 Rock Weak Mons, so I want to kind of have him gone as well. But depending on the team he brings, I might prefer my Rocks being up. So I will be deciding if I want to Defog or not. But yeah, next up we got Chip, which is my designated sweep of the team. Actually, with Earthquake, Knockoff, Stealth Rock, and Substitute. I have Stealth Rock there just because I didn't have another Rocker on the team. And Earthquake and Knockoff is the only card basically I need. I had everything on this team for super good damage with these 2 moves. And yeah, let me talk about the spread. Of course, I have enough speed once again for max speed Excadrill. I can see we hit the same number right here. And then Earthquake, Knockoff main stat moves, stat Rocks, of course, because I want Rocks, and then Substitute. His good best switch into this is the Weezing, because immune to Earthquake, and knockoff is the first knockoffs will do a decent amount, but the second knockoffs won't be doing anything at all. And for that, I have these substitutes. For one, I can dodge Will-O-Wisp in that, and with the Death Investment I actually have right here, his Sludge Bombs and Flamethrowers won't be able to break my sub. The only chance which has to break my sub is like Fire Blast, that has a chance to break my sub. But I'm not do not mind too much breaking my subs, because then I can keep subbing till I get my Psyduck Berry, and then I'll speed everything on the team barring Choice Scarfers, and then I can really go to town with Moxie and stuff like that. I was thinking actually of putting Throat Chop over knockoff, because of course even if I'm behind the sub, the Hyper Voice from Mega Gardevoir will go through that and kill me potentially. And with Throat Chop I can yeah, basically not allow him to go for Sound Boost for a few rounds, including Hyper Voice. But in the end, a +1 Earthquake, or even a regular Earthquake, does so much damage to Gardevoir, so it's not really worth it. I think overall the utility of knockoff is better than the very singular utility only on Gardevoir. So yeah, we got that, and yeah, that's basically Crocodile for you. With the Psyduck Berry, as we everything barring a Scarf. Like I said, I am pretty sure he's gonna bring a Scarf Mienshao. So I definitely, that's why I have knockoff on Walnut as well. That's why I have knockoff on this thing as well. I want to get rid of this goddamn Choice Scarf so I can outspeed with Crocodile everything. That's why I have 3 knockoff users on the team, and yeah, it's good for Porygon 2 of course as well. Next up, we got my switch into the Mega Gardevoir, the Delphox with Kha'Zix Berry, Psychic, Mystical Fire, Calm Mind, and Wish with a very fancy spread. Enough speed to outspeed a max with Manaphy and Celebi and all this good stuff. And then I have enough bulk so that a +1 with Calm Mind, I'm not too KO'd by a timid Shadow Ball from Mega Gardevoir anymore. I'm very sure he would bring timid Gardevoir, because if he brings Modest, my Kiro outspeeds it, so there's no way he's bringing a Modest one. And yeah, I still need the Kha'Zix Berry, because this thing is basically designed to switch into Gardevoir and then set up on it, because I take a Hyper Voice, does like 30% I want to say, then he goes to Shadow Ball, does like 20%, something like that, because of Kha'Zix Berry, I get to +1, and then I can basically Wish, stall and stuff like that. That only works if rocks aren't up, but without the Kha'Zix Berry, even if +1, Shadow Ball doesn't 2KO, because I don't have immediate recovery, I have to rely on Wish, I need the Kha'Zix Berry still to basically set up on him. And then I have Mystical Fire to lower its attack even more, and yeah, basically safe versus Gardevoir. And then Psychic as my secondary stab move. Psychic and Fire Charge is actually very nice with this team. He has no immunity or resistance to that. Excadrill, Super Effective Fire, Manaphy, Neutral Psychic, Hippowdon, Neutral Psychic, Porygon, Neutral Psychic, Scizor, Super Effective Fire, Mienshao, Super Effective Psychic, Sneasel, Celebi, weak to Fire, Weezing, weak to Psychic, Gardevoir, neutral Fire hit, Fearow, neutral Psychic hit, and Blaziken, weak to Psychic. So Psychic Fire Coverage is very nice with this team. I played a lot around with this Delphox set. I had like first a Hiram Z Sunny Day, because with Solar Beam, Fire Blast, Psychic, I run through his team basically. But then I have like no switch in at all to Mega Gardevoir. I can switch him once and then I die another time. So I didn't want that. And if he just breaks the Shadow Ball, I'm dead from full after rocks basically. So I have ways of revenge killing Mega Gardevoir, but I want to have a switch, and so I decided to run this more bulky Delphox, which probably can still do a lot of work. But yeah, Wish Pass is of course nice as well for some of my bulkier mons like the Finny, which doesn't have a lot of recovery and all this good stuff. So yeah, that is my team. Let me of course know in the comments what you think about it, and yeah, let's hope we can pull through tomorrow for the matching. Look forward to that, of course, upload on mine and Coach Z channel, so his links will be in the description. But yeah, that's all from me. I will see you another time. Ciao.